Good Morning LKN, weekdays 7 to 9 a.m. on WSIC.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday afternoon here in beautiful, beautiful Lake Norman region, North Carolina. Hope everyone's doing all right out there. Hope hope you have power. And if you don't, hope you will just sit back and enjoy listening to a little bit of good news and discussion here today, talking about everything that makes up the scene around Lake Norman and the surrounding region. Maybe you're out. Maybe you're out with a chainsaw in your hand right now, cutting down some trees. Feel like there were a lot of trees that went down in this storm yesterday. I saw a post from Brad Panovich on the Facebook today that showed where like the line of this tornado yesterday was like just south of my house in Huntersville. So I was glad that missed me. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Although, maybe we can get Brad to come be on the show one day and talk about the weather culture of the area. That'd be kind of cool to discuss. Anyways, welcome back everyone for another weekly dose of Know the Scene. The show here where we focus on making sure you know what it is that makes the scene here. What's the scene here in Lake Norman region and beyond? What is there to do? What is there to eat? What is there to drink? Like, what can you do with your friends, your families? What's happening? What are the happening things in our towns and communities up here? My name's Justin Dionne. I'm your host. Again, if you're listening live, thank you. If you're on social media, you can listen on social media, stream it live too as well on like Facebook, I think Twitter. Are we on YouTube? Are we out of YouTube jail? We're out of YouTube jail, so you can now. Bill has broken the chains. We are out of YouTube jail, so you can stream live on YouTube and watch later as well. Watch later. Also, if you hear something today, you'd like to chime in and give us a call, you can call in 844-STUDIO-4. 844-STUDIO-4 is the number. Well, let's get started. We've got a great guest here again today. I've been really happy, Bill, with these guests we've had on these first 4 shows. I think it's set the scene in a nice way. No pun intended there.
You're crushing it, man.
I don't know if you would agree. But I think we're happy with the direction we're headed. We've got really another foundational guest. If you've been listening the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to bring in like foundational folks who I think have really had such a big part of creating where we are now as a community in terms of that scene, right? And I will say, if you've been around at all in the last 10 years and watched the energy really started in downtown Cornelius, and now it's spread farther. We'll talk about that later. But really in downtown Cornelius, Old Town Cornelius, that brand, that idea, the energy, the festivals, everything, you may not realize it, but that was all made possible because of the work of Case Warnemunde and Jess as well, and other people who have been part of business as well. So we've got Case Warnemunde here, who is with several organizations around the area, from Old Town Public House to Bella Love to Old Town Cornelius to now Waves Entertainment. He's going to talk to us all this. Welcome, Case.
Thanks for having me, Justin.
So first, to kind of get us started today, again, I just want to help set the stage for everyone in this first kind of segment. Tell us about yourself and how you got to this Lake Norman area.
Yeah, sure. So let's see. I was born and raised in Ohio, grew up just outside of Columbus, and then early on moved over to Cincinnati. And essentially, I graduated from college, University of Cincinnati. I was working at Outback Steakhouse, kind of doing the server thing with everybody else.
Yep.
Everybody's, running the rat race, dating everybody, trying to figure out what they're doing with their lives. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I got something big waiting for me, and I can't see it here in my hometown. So I just kind of left on a prayer, figured wanted to go somewhere East Coast, maybe Florida, maybe North Carolina. And just kind of picked North Carolina because it was far enough from home, but close enough to still go back.
Yeah,
and it had a lot.
It's not far.
Not far at all.
6-hour drive.
It's about 7.5, but super easy drive. So Ended up just kind of moving out here. I transferred to the Outback Steakhouse in Huntersville. So that's
Nice.
what brought me over here.
Okay.
I landed in Huntersville, but spent a good amount of time in Charlotte. Met some friends. You know, I thought Charlotte was where I was
What
supposed
year
to be.
was this?
This was 2009.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
So let's see. So I,
Charlotte was still a little bit gritty then. Like there was still like that plaza scene, that NoDa scene was still kind of gritty. up and coming.
yeah. I mean, I don't even know if I was that involved with it because I was always trending to the burbs, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't long until I ended up in Huntersville, doing different sales gigs, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So many interesting opportunities, so many things that one thing pointed to the next, and all the while I was in a new place, completely on my own, experiencing all new people, new things, and it's what kind of led to the formation of a lot of the ideas and a lot of things that came to be today.
Okay. So at some point, you must have found yourself in what is now Old Town, but then the downtown Cornelius area.
I did.
Can you tell me about that? Do you remember? Do you remember like when you, I guess, like the first time you were there and what your thoughts were?
Yeah, I
And
actually
describe it for me.
I actually haven't thought about it in a long time, but somehow or the other, I ended up, I don't know how I was in the community, but I ended up coming across one of those live work units directly across the street from what's now Old Town Public House.
Right.
And something about it was just calling to me. It was like, okay, so I could do something here down below. I could live upstairs. The place is pretty nice. I didn't really have the money for it. Called my sister. It was like, hey, can you loan me some money to put down the deposit on this? It just felt like I needed to move fast and get in on the spot. So
Sure.
I don't really recall if I had much going on in this area at all. I'm not entirely sure actually
It called to you.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was like a magnet to you.
Yeah.
So you move into those live work units, and was this around still like that 09, 2010, 2011 -ish?
This is probably 2010.
Okay.
Maybe early 2011.
So when you move into those live work units in 2010, what is that area of Cornelius like? What does it look like?
Yeah, that area of Cornelius, where OTPH was a boarded up building next
Okay.
door. Yeah, I think there had been a fire there, and
wow.
right next to it was an eyesore for sure, and it was like that for years after. I don't know if you recall or ever saw pictures of what was going on. It was kind of a big deal in the town. People
I
were
never
like,
saw like
oh.
the original. I mean, when I moved here, OTPH was there.
Yeah. Well, this was next to OTPH,
Oh,
which
I
that
remember
building's
that,
still not in
yes.
good shape. But yeah, I remember for a while there,
The
people
original
were like,
Jack painting was on
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yes.
But man, a lot has changed. But there wasn't a whole lot going on, but there was still a charm to it. You know, there's
Sure.
always been, like, you drive down, especially into Old Town, into the downtown area. You got all those big trees
Yeah.
overlooking the street. You got some nice old buildings. Nothing monumental that stands out, but I guess there was just always some sort of charm and feeling that there's opportunity here.
Was Antiquity built yet?
No.
So it was just a big field.
Yeah. big
Right,
field.
where Antiquity is now, none of that was
Yeah.
there. Big field.
Yeah, the pawn shop, obviously.
Right,
I-
was
I-
still
I
there,
went-
right on the corner, right? Yeah, where the old bank was, right? And
Yeah,
was it
well-
still a flower shop too, or was it?
I don't know because the pawn shop was where the Kane Center ended up being, or maybe it moved from that area. To remember, the pawn shop was in those blue buildings.
In the blue buildings. Okay,
for
when
a
I got here,
while.
it was that furniture. It was the furniture group
Oh,
that
okay.
used to be there. The Picket.
Picket. Okay, yeah. Before that, there was this guy Bobby who ran. I forget what the shop was there, but super cool. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna keep talking about this because I love hearing these stories. So, Case Warnemunde, coming right back after the break, guys.
If it touches your family, your schools, your city, or your safety, News Talk WSIC has it covered.
Grub Ferry Road near the intersection at Hollywood Drive will be closed while...
News Talk WSIC.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Just a few more weeks until Kane Center for the Arts' first performance of the 2024 fall season lineup. Asheville native Kanan Cox will be performing Friday, August 25th. The show starts at 8 p.m. Kane Center for the Arts 2024 Fall Season. Buy your season tickets now at canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Looking for something fun to do with your kids this summer? Birkdale Buds is hosting their weekly Playtime in the Plaza. Bring your preschool-aged bud for playtime between 10:30 and 12 noon every Wednesday through October. The activities include games, face painting, storytellers, magicians, arts and crafts, plus more. There's no cost and no registration required. Bring a blanket and come join the fun. For more details, visit BirkdaleVillage.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic Downtown Walking Tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more details, visit downtownmooresville.com. Looking for a night out on the town? Cornelius' second Friday Street Festival series continues, starting at Oak Street Mill at 6 p.m. The second Friday Street Festival series is ongoing through October. Got an upcoming event you'd like everyone to know about? Yard and estate sales, nonprofit fundraisers, and everything in between? Go to WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
I'm Nick Rice with your WSIC forecast. As we head through the rest of the afternoon, it's going to stay mostly sunny with a high in the mid-80s. Tonight, mostly cloudy, gradually becoming clear overnight with a low of 66. On Wednesday, a sunny day and a high of 88. Wednesday night, 20% chance of a shower after 1 a.m. It'll be cloudy with a low of 71 in the morning. I'm Nick Rice from WSIC's Weather Center.
Conversations that matter.
I gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now. Have your say.
Trusting the government to fix anything is a joke.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't even trust the banks with our money.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
All right. Know the scene. We're back. I'm your host, Justin Dionne. Welcome again to your weekly dose of Know the Scene. We're going to talk about things that have helped us to shape and create and that are happening now. The cultural scene around Lake Norman and the town, right? Everyone talks so much about how this is a wonderful area to live and work and play, and people moving here and being a part of it. And you want to make sure you know what's going on, because sometimes there's so much going on, it's hard to know what you could be missing. So we're having our guest today, Case Warnemunde, really a foundational person here in the scene that is now, this Lake Norman, especially Cornelius, but of course beyond now. We'll talk about that later, but especially that downtown Cornelius, Old Town Cornelius scene there. So Case was just telling us in first segment, from Cincy, moves here for opportunity in like 2009 to Huntersville, working it out back. Trying to figure some stuff out, have an opportunity to get in on one of those live work units in downtown Cornelius. It's at that point, what is downtown Cornelius then? There's no antiquity development, so right. None of that is there. There's definitely no Kane Center. So you've got the blue buildings, which you said was a pawn shop at the time. Mm-hmm. There was no Old Town Public House yet. Yep, correct. So probably not much going on, other than people coming in for town business, I guess, or going to Food Lion. Was Food Lion there? Yeah, Food Lion was there. Yeah. So sure. Probably not much going on. So you must take us from there. What happens next, Case?
Well, so I think now that I'm going through this, now that this story is kind of coming back to me, I think I'll jump back just a little bit to help put some context into, I think, why I'm in Cornelius at this point. So somewhere along the way, I'm in Charlotte, living there. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for a career. I'm doing these different sales gigs, and all the while, I'm a pretty social guy. And I'm meeting all these people. Feels like divinely. I'm meeting the next person I meet, the next person that I meet. They just have such an interesting story, so much talent. They just is whatever they have going on, their passions are like, it's just glaring at me like, wow, these are like, this is incredible. These people's stories are incredible. And I kept hearing over and over again, there was this disconnect from people doing what they love and pursuing their passions and what they did to sustain themselves in their careers. So I think there were just so many of these kind of touch points that were coming to me that it started to form this idea. And this idea became an organization called Bella Love. And the idea was that what if you could take a network of all of the talent that exists around, let's say, major cities. So take all the talent around Greater Charlotte. Take all of the artists, musicians, performers. How about all of the startup businesses, all of the unique things that Charlotte calls its own? And what if you could create a type of physical social network meets an entertainment company? So I'm thinking a network that there would be lots of festivals and events. There would be kind of a whole circuit that musicians and entertainers would be able to rise up through their communities like they were, back in the day, from playing in your garage, right, to playing to your local pub, to your, to the big venues. So you've got that. And then, again, all the while you're creating this scene, this sense of community by really connecting people around the heart of like, yes, there's important things going on all around the world, but we can only be physically right here together with this group of people. So there's something different about that, and there's something that makes that special. And so that's where I had this idea of, okay, well, what can you call local while still encompassing as much resources as you possibly could? And that's what had me at some point to think, okay, well, I'm going to do this idea. Again, I know this is very vague, and because as I kind of dreamt about it and understood it, it went so many different angles. It was so many different types of festivals and events, businesses, real estate. I mean, because it just was about people and just about making connections. And as long as I linked arms with people, so I started putting out some ads on Craigslist. These ads, I'm sure I'll find them at some point, pull them back up. They were as vague as you could possibly be, but they were inspirational. They were exciting. There was something about them. And I was flooded with people responding to me that they wanted to join this movement. This is what, you got to kind of fake it till you make it. So I realized early on, okay, I'm on to something here. Like everybody, they're all doing their corporate gigs. It's not like other people, like I'm the only one who has this idea to connect people, right?
Sure.
But I'm doing it in a way that's like clearly resonating with some people.
Sure.
And then I'm making connections, and these connections, just like we're connecting right now and like we connected before, they feel purposeful, They feel like there's something, going on that's, bigger picture, kind of more divinely orchestrated, I guess, if you will.
That energy behind it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. So anyhow, I've got a plan, I've got an idea, and I see this thing literally going around the world and changing the world. So, okay, it kind of being like a Walt Disney type of idea. I believe it. I'm so sure of it. Okay, what do I do?
Yeah, what's step one? You got to have a step one at some point, right? Yeah, what's step one?
I guess you host an event.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. So then somehow I landed at the Palace Theater, which is now Elevation Church.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's right over here near Birkdale.
Yeah, I landed
Or
there.
near,
Some connection through some ballroom company. And anyhow, I ended up hosting an event. Chris Bukidis was actually one of the first people I was connected with
that's
Galway
super
Hooker
cool.
there.
Yeah, Galway,
So we hosted an event out in that area. It was called Live Love 2011. And the whole idea, again, I'm meeting all these people, from like people who do fire hula hooping to awesome graffiti mural artists to obviously bands, things like that. And I'm like, hey, why don't we all come and do our cool thing at one time during this date?
Great.
Like, what an idea.
Yeah.
Right? Let's all just do it at the same time. And we'll call it Live Love 2011.
Great.
And that is really, now it wasn't, it was okay. In hindsight, I was definitely like, yeah, it all went well, but it was the spark of something that it was the start of this idea. It like
Okay.
manifested itself.
So what? So it was a success. I mean, how did it go? Did the community come out and get behind it? I mean, did people enjoy it?
Yeah, the community came out. I mean, I'd say, several hundred.
Sure.
So nothing crazy.
But that for a first one, that's great.
Seemed like everybody was
Enough
having
to
a
do
good
another
time.
one.
Yeah, and I was getting wrote up in the papers, but mainly like, yes, it was a cool event, but it was new. These things weren't going on in the area, and what I was saying at the time was interesting to people. I forget what it was, but it was basically, I've got an idea, and I've got one of these papers framed. It was like something about the guy with the $1 million idea or something.
Sure.
I was pumped.
Sure,
whatever I had going
yeah.
on. And so that was the start of this, and I think that's where I ended up. The whole other side of town. I see the live work unit. Sorry, it just jogged my memory. I'm like, okay, that's where it was like Cornelius was meant to be.
Okay,
from there.
I see.
So that's how I ended up
Okay.
there.
So you host the first Live Love 2011. That's like there's something magic here in Cornelius,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
in the lake area in
Norman
general,
area,
because
yeah.
like you're drawing from all over, right? So then does that eventually was that the start of what became Tawba Walks, or
No, then
like was that your tryout, for lack of a better phrase, right? I mean, was that where Tawba Walks were born out of, or
see, you're following so well. No, the tryout ended up being open mic night. Okay, so it starts with this grandioso event, but
Uh-huh.
a grandioso event is not sustainable. Where it's not right. It's these like these shots in the arm, these jolts of excitement for community. But the sustainability comes in kind of the more frequent,
The
and
regu-
y-
yeah.
the regular interactions.
because you can't have every event be that big. It's just because
Yeah.
it takes so much to put on, so much
Exactly.
work, so
Right.
much everything.
Yeah, and obviously, like, I didn't make any money. I lost
Sure.
money, had to, but yeah. So we end up at some point. I connect with Katie Farmer from Katie Fit, and we become friends. I'm not sure where the genesis of that landed, but it was just a similar spirit. She loved that community. She was doing Katie Fit. Katie Fit has a
In
real
the mill.
in the mill, yeah, and it has a real purposeful heart behind its endeavor and
Yeah.
how it wants to really love on people and show them they belong through fitness. I think was kind of some of that. It was really big on community. So she opened her doors, and we started hosting this open mic every first and third Thursday.
Oh, cool.
And this thing was okay. So obviously there was nothing going on in the area.
So still no OTPH yet.
There's no OTPH. There's nothing going
But
on.
you're doing open mics at Katie Fit.
At Katie Fit. And these open mics, probably average audience 80, 100 people.
Wow.
I mean, you can verify this with lots of sources. And this lineup, I mean, we couldn't get through this lineup fast enough of how jam-packed we were. And these were like a lot of the bands who you see even now
That's so
in the
cool.
Lake Norman area. They were all, some of them were formed
Yeah.
through connections at open mics. Some of them,
That's that's one of the cool things about open mic. Like if you've ever been to like an open mic community, like if you're a musician, like I used to do open mics when I was younger and it was a musician, and like you see the same folks every week, but that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
And you're cheering for each other.
Yeah.
And when one of them learns a new song and brings it up, you're like, yeah, that one was awesome,
Yeah.
dude. Or you're giving each other feedback. It's fun. Like
Yeah.
it becomes a commute, like you just said, it is a community of people.
But this was one of these things that I'll tell you what, it was not the same people. Yet it just kept swelling and growing because as people would hear about it, this was the place you had to go.
That's
Was
awesome.
the Bella Loves open mic.
When it's something at night in downtown
Yeah.
Cornelius, which again still downtown Cornelius at that point, that like was not anything going on
For
like
sure.
this.
And this was full bands, the production level of
Oh,
this. So this
wow.
went from like an open floor studio to stage, seating. And this is where I met my now business partner with Waves Entertainment, Justin Taylor.
Oh, cool.
Who was there early on, just a guy working a corporate gig, but he just loved music, loved running sound, and we'll talk more about that.
That's
I'm sure,
awesome.
here soon.
Yeah, that was great transition. Thank you, Case. All right, great. I love this. This is a great story. Tell us where we're going and how we got to where we are. Know the scene. Come right back after the break. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Mark Walters. Join me on Armed American Radio as I take a stand for Second Amendment rights. That's Sundays from 8 until 11. I will be on your radio fighting for freedom right here on News Talk 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Local and North Carolina news now on the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. News Talk Now.
I'm Mike Jackson, WSIC News. Downed trees, power outages, and flight delays were widespread after last night's storms. About 6,000 people in the Charlotte Lake Norman area and 5,000 people in the Statesville area lost power. Charlotte Douglas International Airport experienced over 40 delays and 46 canceled flights. Downed trees were reported around the area, including several trees that crashed down on a home in Troutman. Duke Energy grid specialist Jeff Brooks posted on social media at 8:08 p.m. last night that nearly 250,000 of the utility's customers across the Carolinas were without power. And an arrest was made about a week ago in the fentanyl overdose death of a Sanford man last year, according to Harnett County authorities. Joshua Matheson, 27 of Sanford, died on August 23, 2022 at his home near Sanford, officials said. The investigation continues. Now sports with Joe Berg.
The NASCAR Cup Series was at Michigan on Monday after the race was postponed on Sunday. Chris Buescher picked up his second consecutive win, and Charlotte FC beat the Houston Dynamo 2-1 in their league's cup game.
WSIC weather: sunny today with a high of 87, clear with a low of 65 tonight, then sun returns for Wednesday with a high of 88. Mike Jackson, WSIC News.
What would you consider to be your greatest asset? For me, that's easy. It's my wife and family. My name is Larry Jones, and I'm the owner of Navstar Financial Planning. Over the years, I've tried to build Navstar with that idea in mind. After all, it's not just about how your portfolio is doing. It's about defeating that market correction that comes around every 5 to 7 years to make you start over. It's about moving you to a place where our spend-crazy politicians don't end up with more of your assets than you do. It's about preparing your kids for getting into their dream college and maximizing scholarships and free money so that your own portfolio doesn't have to suffer. It's about maximizing your future income streams, such as Social Security, and helping you with Medicare decisions and that elephant in the room, long-term care. I'd love to meet you. Maybe I could help you protect your biggest asset. Give me a call at 704-663-7482, and let's have a short 10-minute chat. There's no pressure or obligation. That's 704-663-7482.
Larry is a member of the Financial Planning Association.
Listen up, Carolinas. It's the summer of Jeep at the #1 Jeep dealer, Lake Norman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Over 800 new Jeeps available, and we guarantee to beat any deal in the nation. I-77 exit 28 or LakeNormanChrysler.com.
The #1 news station for Lake Norman and Statesville. News Talk WSIC.
Hi, this is Mark Walters. Join me on Armed American Radio as I take a stand for Second Amendment rights. That's Sundays from 8 until 11. I will be on your radio fighting for freedom right here on News Talk 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Whatever the story,
we have to end our dependence on China.
Have your say.
This debt crisis is going to set our economy back big time.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
All right, we're back here Tuesday afternoon. Know the Scene on WSIC News. Justin Dionne, your host. Again, thank you for listening today. If you shout out to our folks that are watching or live on social media, YouTube, Facebook, all those options. If you have anything you'd like to chime in on today or ask a question of our guest, Case, or anybody, you can call 844-STUDIO-4, 844-STUDIO-4. Again, we've got Case Warnemunde here today. We're going to jump right back in. So Case, local entrepreneur, business owner, cultural driver here, like the scene. Like when I say no, the scene, Case literally, if you've been listening, has been describing the creation of a scene. That he has had a major part of and worked with his team on and community members and everyone. He'll tell you about that too. But so where we left off, it's early, 2012, something like that at this point maybe.
Probably, yeah.
And you've put on a festival over in what is now Elevation Church here off of Catawba. You then Katie Fit opens, and Katie invites you to come and be a part of and start an open mic night there. And so you start an open mic night that becomes wildly successful. You really feel that energy going. I'm guessing at some point open mic night's so successful that maybe something leads to you deciding you need to grow this more to get your own place.
100%. Yeah, because like I said, this was every first and third Thursday.
Yeah.
So in between, these connections are still going on. So
Yeah.
what are we doing now? I think at that point we started the second Friday art crawl.
Oh, cool.
I believe is what that was. So it was like, okay, again, connection point. We don't at that time we didn't need to come up with any fancy name or whatnot. It was like, how can we create another frequent rhythm of connection here, right? Of taking all this cool thing and all these talents and,
Yeah.
and whatnot and do it all at the same time. Again,
Right.
like, how about Second Friday?
Yeah.
How's that sound, everybody? So I believe that Second Friday happened next, and that was pretty successful. And again, that's once a month, so you can see how this would easily transition at some point.
Right.
When I'm living right across the street from what is now Old Town Public House.
Yeah.
There was something else that was going to go in there. I wasn't involved in it. Long story short, it fell through. I was excited for it. It didn't happen. It was something kind of similar. And I'm looking out the window, and I just hear this little voice that, so I thought, that just said, "That's yours."
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it, Case. Do it.
Something like that. It was a little more, yeah, it wasn't quite so kind of scary, aggressive. But
Sorry.
It was.
Make your dreams come true.
Yeah. It was kind of like that. So anyhow, the pieces just fell into place. That's a lot of my story. I'm just taking a step out there, and the piece, kind of in faith, and it leads to the next thing, I ended up getting in there. It was a crazy process of trying to do the build out. There was a lot of stuff that kind of went wrong, but nonetheless, we opened up Old Town Public House. I want to say this was 2015. It's got to be.
Wow.
Yeah, so we opened up Old Town Public House. This thing was slammed. I had some different business partners than I do now, and they were fantastic. They led a lot of the vision, and Old Town Public House was like, man, I miss the glory days because there's a lot of things going on right now.
You're not in the glory days now, man.
Well,
Old Town Public House is still like packed, jamming. If anyone here has not been to Old Town Public House in Old Town, downtown Cornelius, you have got to go. It is a great spot, bottle shop. Like, you guys have, some kind of event every night of the week.
Sometimes two. Yeah,
Yeah,
live
right,
entertainment
like-
7 nights a week. And that's what we were doing when we first opened up. And it was unheard of. Right now, you can't go to a place, even tonight, that probably doesn't have bingo or live music or something like. That wasn't the case back then. There was 3/4, maybe 80% of these businesses didn't exist who are around here. And also those who did exist, because it wasn't quite so saturated, there wasn't the need for everybody to compete with these events, right?
Right.
So, but for us, it was, again, just this thing of like, there's cool people looking to express themselves and do cool things. Come over to my pub now, right?
Right, yeah. Well,
So
it
now
was
I got-
Cornelius's first, pub.
Yeah.
On the, now I don't know
In
if
the
then
downtown
if
area
yeah,
it was,
in the, on the east side, right? On the
Yeah.
east side in that area, it was like
Saeed's was
the
there
first.
first,
Was
yeah.
Saeed's there?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. But I wouldn't call Saeed's a pub per se.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Saeed is a cool bar to go to, right?
Right.
But like, I think you guys definitely achieved that, kind of pub vibe on the east
Yeah.
side, like you were saying.
And we had like a line out the door. It was crazy. And no, we're still, I love that business. I love it today. It's just, it was something different back then when everything was fresh. There was nothing going on in the community. I mean, literally, this was like, people couldn't believe what was going on
Yeah.
here. Now it's just,
That's so cool.
second nature. Oh yeah, OTPH has got events. Of course they do.
Yeah, they got
And,
it. Yeah, they got.
yeah.
I think a food truck's like, I think almost
Right.
every Thursday, OTPS is a food truck. Just go
Yeah.
down there and eat.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But that's what. But again, like, I think it's important to note and to again, like, credit you for and your partners, right, and the community that jumped onto this and kept that energy going as well. Like, I mean, Katie obviously was one as well, who y'all were the first to jump in that downtown Cornelius area and create these opportunities and get that energy and continue to harness that energy to that got it rallied to kind of see where we are now.
Right. I think at that time, I believe Ass Clown was there. Right
It's the
at
name
the
of a
time when
business, Bill. We're not cursing. It's the name of a business.
Yeah, it's the name of a business. I believe they were there right at that time, and there were some other things as well. And so all the while, like I said, you're kind of seeing the progression of some things here, and things are growing in this community. And as I'm getting to know people, the people, places, the layout, I'm realizing this place is awesome. You know, this is a cool community that's largely not forgotten, but people who don't know that area would only identify Cornelius by the lake.
Right. That was,
That was
that's
not a.
that was it, right? Like that's what it was.
Not a vibrant downtown, and frankly, there wasn't. But this is one of these: you build it, they will come. You got to speak it into existence.
Right.
And I wasn't just faking it. I could see it. I
mean, I will
feel
even
it.
go so far as to say, and I don't mean this. Gosh, watch out if someone's listening. We might get the calls. Maybe I should say this so the calls get going. But even now, I've lived here long enough now. I think I can feel confident saying that of the 3 towns that make up the North Mecklenburg side of the lake region, you know, I really feel that downtown Cornelius, the old town Cornelius, has the most like nighttime energy for entertainment. Right now, there may be more restaurants in Davidson. There's definitely more restaurants in Davidson. There's more like little shops, like, you know, in that realm. But there's not that, you know, that pub with live music with this night, what you guys have going on, you know, and what you guys started, and now what, you know, like the Kane Center tries to build upon, and what, you know, also with the other businesses that are continuing to pop up, you know, in that way. Like I think, and that started because I think you guys got that energy behind it. And now downtown Cornelius is, again, out of the 3, I think that's the one that's going to be the downtown that has like that energy, that entertainment district.
I'm banking on it. Yeah, so this was, you know, in hindsight, this was kind of a multi-approach of like, okay, a little bit of entrepreneurship, starting, you know, my own businesses, but it was also about connecting the dots. It wasn't that I had to come in and create everything. It was like, if there was an opportunity, of course I was going to walk through that door. You know, why would I not? But if there was somebody else doing something, it's like, well, hey, let's connect it together.
Right.
So this is where bringing it back to, okay, I had this idea that I was going to create a new type of kind of organizational unifier, a type of movement, a concept that would connect people to their, let's say, their greater cities, Charlotte, you know, Knoxville. I'm from Cincinnati. That was this idea. So here, this starts to happen real time in one small suburb outside of Charlotte.
Right.
And so I see this area is largely unidentified. I guess it doesn't have a brand. People didn't even know really there was a downtown Cornelius, right? So here was another opportunity. Well, I got a marketing background. I'm interested in that type of aspect. So I create the brand. Okay, I'm going to nobody hired me to do it. Nobody asked me to do it. Like, well, I'm going to create the brand for the community. I'm going to advertise and promote the things that make this an awesome place to live, work, and play. And let's see what happens. And that's kind of where things really start picking up and more things just kind of get added to the puzzle. All these events start taking off. The community's growing. I find myself at the center of a lot of things, not at all because I created it, but I think because there, like you said, there was energy here, and I had kind of put my flag in the ground.
Yeah.
That was like, well, it wasn't that things had to flow through me. It just kind of made sense.
What is Catawba? But on the main drag. I always call it, like, I know Catawba is not Main Street, like the name, but I always say it's basically like Cornelius's Main Street is Catawba right there.
Yeah. So people would say, you got to go talk to Case, or, you know, and I'm out here socializing. And then, like, you can imagine, I just have more and more conversations, meet more people. I love meeting people, and, you know, I'm all about win-wins, right?
Yeah,
everything's got to be a win-win. So I talk to somebody, I see something that they could offer me, you know, in these, but I'm like, I'm quick to, like, I want to offer and reciprocate that because I want this relationship to be sustainable.
Exactly.
And
when that's true community.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Like that's true community, which is the energy, like you're all, like you've spent up to now building and continuing to build now moving forward, right?
Yep.
That's awesome. So, all right, so we're going to have to go to break here again, but just again, for those who are listening, Case Warnemunde, foundational creator of Bella Love, and Old Town Public House, and Second Fridays, and then we come back, I want to hear how we got the Tawba Walks, and then I want to talk about Waves Entertainment. So, come back with us.
Breaking news, expert analysis, and the stories that matter most, all in one place.
I totally acknowledge seeing flames is a scary situation.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Just a few more weeks until Kane Center for the Arts' first performance of the 2024 fall season lineup. Asheville native Kanan Cox will be performing Friday, August 25th. The show starts at 8 p.m. Kane Center for the Arts 2024 fall season. Buy your season tickets now at kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Looking for something fun to do with your kids this summer? Birkdale Buds is hosting their weekly playtime in the plaza. Bring your preschool-aged bud for playtime between 10:30 and 12 noon every Wednesday through October. The activities include games, face painting, storytellers, magicians, arts and crafts, plus more. There's no cost and no registration required. Bring a blanket and come join the fun. For more details, visit BirkdaleVillage.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic Downtown Walking Tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more details, visit downtownmooresville.com. Looking for a night out on the town? Cornelius' second Friday Street Festival series continues, starting at Oak Street Mill at 6 p.m. The second Friday Street Festival series is ongoing through October. Got an upcoming event you'd like everyone to know about? Yard and estate sales, nonprofit fundraisers, and everything in between? Go to WSICnews.com and click on Events to submit your event today.
I'm Nick Rice with your WSIC forecast. As we head through the rest of the afternoon, it's going to stay mostly sunny with a high in the mid-80s. Tonight, mostly cloudy, gradually becoming clear overnight with a low of 66. On Wednesday, a sunny day and a high of 88. Wednesday night, 20% chance of a shower after 1 a.m. It'll be cloudy with a low of 71 in the morning. I'm Nick Rice from WSIC's Weather Center.
Hey folks, Ryan Scott here, Randy Marion Chevrolet Statesville. Let me tell you about this summer sales event going on. I tell you, Silverados, Colorados, we have got them discounted during this event. It is hot outside. The deals are even hotter at the Chevrolet store in Statesville. If you haven't seen the new Colorado, folks, you owe it to yourself. Come check that truck out. Take it home today. Come see the Silverado, whether it's a crew cab, double cab, regular cab, we got them in stock. 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, pick the trim, take it home today. Your dealer is Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, right on I-40.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC News Talk Now. Conversations that matter.
I gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome, everyone, to Know the Scene. It's 4 p.m. on Tuesday. That means it's time for you to learn about all the cool things that make up the scene here in Lake Norman region and beyond. Continuing our conversation with Case Warnemunde here today, foundational visionary and startup guy here. If you've been to a Second Friday in downtown Cornelius, if you've been to a Tawba Walk in downtown Cornelius, Old Town Cornelius, if you've heard of Old Town Cornelius, if you've been to Old Town Public House, you've experienced a Case Warnemunde driven experience. That he's been a great guest today, telling us all about kind of how we got to those things. By the way, again, if you're not aware of these things, I want to make sure I do this because we're going to get going again. If you've never been to one, really, you should go. The Second Fridays, they start every year in April. Or May? Kick off in May every year, and it's the second Friday of every month from May through October.
Correct.
So if it's the second Friday of the month, you can head to Old Town Cornelius right there off exit 28, go downtown, and you'll see a great street festival happening. Always has great vendors, local vendors, both beer, food trucks, wonderful entertainment of local artists as well, artisans. If you're a local artisan, you can get a vendor tent there, and pay for a vendor tent and peddle your wares.
Absolutely.
As well. They're always super attended. Every different one has a different theme right now. This weekend, one coming up this Friday night from 6 to 10 p.m. on August 11th, this Friday, is the Throwback Edition. So it looks like we're going to be going 90s vibe here. We're going kind of 90s and 80s feel.
80s and 90s, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So come down to Old Town Cornelius this Friday night. Free public event. It's free in Old Town there, and it's not just, it's what's cool is like what started for Case as just this like Second Fridays, and I mean some other things may have been going on, but probably not much. Now it's like, so from Kane Center side, we've opened up our patio now too. Case has his patio open at Old Town Public House. You've got Thigs, which is open right down the block. I mean, we've got the social district going on in Old Town Cornelius. So like literally you can, like the second Friday nights and Friday nights in general in Old Town are becoming a thing. And it's really cool to see Cornelius have that energy now in that. So Case, last time on the story, you left off, you were just kind of gotten Old Town Public House started. Where do we go from there? When did we decide to you're doing Old Town Public House, you've got that running, it's becoming a great energy. You are building, you've done the second Friday, so those are happening. Are we Tawba walking yet?
Yeah, we're Tawba walking at this point. In fact, gosh, the Tawba Walk might have actually been the first art crawl series.
Okay, so Tawba Walk came out of the art crawl.
I think the Tawba Walk was the art crawl, and then at some point it was like, well, hey, we need to continue to elevate things. So why don't we break that one off? Let's make it a bigger arts and music festival. Let's really like go big on that.
Yeah.
But let's recreate something more regularly, and so that was where
our second Friday.
That was where Second Friday came up. Yeah.
So Tawba Walks happen twice a year.
Yeah.
Usually in April and October. Is that right? Or they kind of some
September,
years they kind of
kind of
spring and fall,
spring and fall,
depending on weather, of course, right? I know you guys moved. Weather didn't behave this year in the spring, so we did it in the summer. But Tawba Walks are huge. I mean, they take over two sides. They down at the Oak Street Mill, they take that lot. You fill the lot behind Cornelius Town Hall. I mean, it's an all-day event, right? From like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock until
2 to 8.
2 to 8. So okay, 2 to 8. But it seems like an all-day event. Because it never seems like it like shuts down. It's not like it's 8 o'clock and you're like, pull it off, done. Everyone leave. Right? It's like you guys keep the energy going, which is great. To Old Town Public House.
Yeah.
Afterwards, that's right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And those are huge. They're huge, guys. So again, follow, by the way, on social media. You can follow Bella Love. You can follow Old Town Public House. You can follow Waves Entertainment.
Old Town Cornelius.
Old Town Cornelius, that's right. All these brands that Case has put together to follow them and make sure understanding these events are. Now, but one thing I want to talk about next in this last segment is so you did all these, you've built all these brands and businesses. You see the energy there. You mentioned that you met a guy named Justin Taylor back when the open mics were happening at former Katy Fit. At what point do you and Justin Taylor say, let's start an entertainment company?
So the way things went with Justin, we were, like I said, we had met up way early on in these open mics. And then when it came to Second Fridays, things like that, sometimes I would use my own sound gear. I would, have a couple other people run sound. But Justin was always there. If you wanted to bring in the big guns, really get it done right, that was Justin Taylor. So when we would do these open mics, the level of production that he would put on for these performers, you could just tell he cared. He wasn't making much money at all. He was hauling a lot of equipment, and this was expensive stuff. He was taking all his hard-earned corporate money, and he was buying all this gear to just put on these shows and these productions that made us look fantastic. Yeah. So we couldn't always afford him, even though when it came to the Second Fridays, although he was dirt cheap, but even then, dirt cheap back then was even a little bit too expensive sometimes.
Sure. When you're startup, I get it.
When you're starting up, yeah. But essentially, Justin and I had always kind of been there side by side, not always working together across every event, but he was the most steady person, always there. And I think at some point, really when this happened, it was during COVID. COVID was crazy. A lot of things went down. And he was at a crossroads where he was potentially considering going a different direction and partnering up with somebody with a different company. And I had put together a proposal. I was working through this Donald Miller Business Made Simple or something like that. I was working with my team. We put together this nice proposal, took him out to Eddie's at the lake and was like, don't do this other thing. I got this other idea. Let's partner on Waves Entertainment. Let's go half on Waves Entertainment. Heck, I'll throw in Old Town Public House. We'll be partners on Old Town Public House. And let's build, as I envision what I really wanted to do from a really big scale, I needed somebody like Justin Taylor, who's able to do productions at the highest level. Yeah. Again, I've got this Walt Disney aspiration. I have no idea how to pull off the type of productions that are needed to do that. And here's the guy who knows how to do it all. So that was, I saw the vision. I pitched it to him. He bought it. He went in, and we've been killing it, really. COVID brought some interesting opportunities along the way, too.
So tell everyone who's listening, what is Waves Entertainment?
So Waves Entertainment is a full-service entertainment company. We do event production, stage and sound services, entertainment booking, and there's more coming down the pipeline. But, yeah, it's an entertainment company.
So, okay, all right. So let me draw that out a little bit more. So tell me about some of the specific events right now that if you can say, right, some of the events and locations and types of things that Waves is doing. Help our audience understand like what that means by event production.
Yes. So, well, in terms of Old Town Cornelius, Waves Entertainment has become the entire production. So that's everything from, recruiting sponsorships and marketing and promotions to vendor coordinations, the food trucks, the breweries, booking the entertainment, setting up the stage and sound, setting up the event, breaking it down, cleaning up, putting out trash bins. Literally. So
a full service.
The entire event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ticket sales.
But that's not the only thing you do, right?
No,
you guys do small things too here and there.
We do, yeah. So that's what's going on in Cornelius, in the downtown area. But we're doing a lot. So we run the Langtree Lives.
Langtree Lives, okay.
All the Langtree Lives. We're pretty much doing. I'm not gonna say all, but a lot of the events that are going on in Ballantyne.
Okay.
Working with Northwood. They've got Ballantyne's backyard is a hot spot for all kinds of activities, and Ballantyne is hot, man, what they've got going on. And they've taken a liking to us. So we're kind of their company.
You guys have done a few things at Birkdale too, right?
Birkdale, yeah. I was about to say Birkdale for sure. Yeah, we love Birkdale. We're in tight there. I think we're doing a great job. And again, that's thanks to Justin and our team. Like, we are there if anything goes wrong, and I mean by anything going wrong, it's usually most things have nothing to do with us, and we're still jumping over to the side, solving like other problems that don't even have to do with what we're doing. And that's just the type of attention to detail and service that our company is founded on, and I'm proud of it. We're really like doing a good job, and these clients are loving us, and they're putting us on to the next one, and we're really heading somewhere here. Yeah.
So if you for instance wanted to put on, if you're listening and you have a vision to put on an event like if you live in a town around here and your town doesn't have a thing like a Second Friday or a thing like a Tawba Walk or a downtown festival type thing, you could reach out to Case and Waves Entertainment, and they could take you soup to nuts, full service. You could hire them to put one of these together absolutely for you.
Yeah, but with some of these things though, we are like, Birkdale obviously has a beautiful stage.
Yeah, well, you'll scope it as
so
needed,
we'll scope
right?
it. Yeah, we can come in and just provide some sound and stage.
Well, hey, Case, thank you so much for coming today. Everybody, please make sure you give Case's organizations a follow. Come back next week for another Know the Scene.
The new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC, Statesville, W290DK, Mooresville, Lake Norman, North Charlotte.